Welcome back to the Lumbridge Lounge. I'm Carter and I'm here with the Baron72, and we are here to give you guys a new guide. We want to make a guide on a newcomer guide and give you some tips that will help you out making a new account. This is mainly for those who have never played RuneScape before, or for people who are trying to introduce their friends into this game and don't exactly know how to explain everything to them. And this is going to be our attempt at just getting through minor details and little tips and tricks that will help you get into this game. This guide will be way more user-friendly, and it's definitely not an efficiency guide for most videos that we've seen. We've seen a lot of videos where they try to go through every detail as efficient as possible. We're here to just make it very simple and way less daunting than it needs to be.
To start out, we're going to want to talk about skills in combat. As you move throughout Tutorial Island, you're able to go through and see many different skills, and they'll go through and explain them all, but we kind of wanted to condense them down here so that you can be less confused as a newer player, or be able to explain better to your friends that are getting into the game. Once you talk to this lady here, the survival expert, she'll give you a net and explain to you your first skill, which is fishing. And then you'll be able to see this menu open here with all of the skills that are in RuneScape. With these skills over here, there's two different types that most people call them by: skilling skills and combat skills. Skilling skills are what you're learning right here in Tutorial Island, where you're learning a separate trade or a separate skill within the game. For example, there's fishing, which we just did, to be able to catch fish and be able to cook food, which restores health. And all of the skills have different properties to them to help you progress in the game. We're not going to dive deep into each skill, but all of them create requirements for later. So throughout Tutorial Island, they introduce you to a bunch of skilling skills up until this point. This is your first interaction with combat inside of the game. The first combat style that we're wanting to talk about is the melee style. There's 3 different stats that go into melee: attack, strength, and defense, and these each do different things for your account. We want to explain these stats so that you understand them a little more. They're sometimes hard to understand for newer players. The first one, attack, is used for your accuracy. So the higher you level this up, the more accurate you're going to be. The next one is strength. This affects how hard you can hit, or how high of a number you can hit. Within RuneScape, you're basically on a random number generator for the numbers that you hit within the game. So even if you are level, like, say, 99 in strength, you can still hit a 1 or a 2, but you can also hit a 50 or a 60, just because of how the number rolled in the system. And the last one is defense. Defense makes it so that opponents are less accurate towards you, and makes it so they hit more zeros on you. It doesn't mean that they're going to hit less numbers, it just means that they're going to hit less often. Now, to level up each one of those, you don't have to have special weapons or special things. You just have to come here to your combat options and change the style of your attack. You see here I'm on stab, and it says attack XP down there. That means I'm going to gain experience from fighting a monster, and I'll gain attack experience. Now if you change over here to lunge, you see strength experience. I'll gain strength experience from that. And last, defensive stance, you'll get a defensive experience drop when you kill monsters. The next combat style after melee we're going to talk about is ranged. Ranged, to make it very, very basic, is all those stats into one for the ranged method. So your attack and your strength in ranged, or your accuracy and your high hit, is dependent on your range level. This also depends on the equipment you're using, like your bow and your ammo. Now, after you complete Tutorial Island, you're kind of just thrown into the game. You're thrown into the world. The world is ginormous, huge. This is Lumbridge. It's just a small town within the game. But the whole game has hundreds, if not thousands, of different places and things to do within it. So we're going to try to steer you into understanding different goals and things that you need within RuneScape.
Now that we're just thrown into this huge world of Gielinor in RuneScape, we are now given the choice of what goals we want to make. So this game doesn't really steer you in any direction after Tutorial Island, so it's up to you to decide what kind of goals you want to make. One of the biggest goals that I would recommend at this time is quests, and you can go over here and open up your quest list. And if you're sticking with a free-to-play account right now, you are limited to just a small number of quests, but that is what we recommend you do as soon as possible. One quest that we recommend you start off with, just to get familiar with how quests work, is called Cook's Assistant. And you can find the beginning of this quest here inside Lumbridge Castle, right here in the ground floor. And a quick tip to figure out where quests are, where you can begin, is on your map you could see a blue compass right here, and it matches your quest tab right here in your quest list. And this is where you begin Cook's Assistant. So the reason why we want you guys to do quests right off the bat is because they reward you a lot of XP, especially when you're early in the game. It'll really cruise you through a couple of these skills. Not only that, but they'll reward you with items, money, they'll unlock areas for you, and just help familiarize this gigantic world right off the bat. Because this world is really big, and as you do quests and run around the areas, you'll start to familiarize yourself with all over the place, and it just makes you feel a lot less intimidated by this huge world. Another big reason why we push you guys to do quests is that it helps you with creating more and more milestones in your account. As you do more quests, it allows you to do even more quests. It allows you to get more levels and just make more goals. Some goals you'll steer off and do other things, and you'll eventually come back to an original goal that you made. But one of the biggest goals we recommend you do is to accomplish the quest called Dragon Slayer 1. And as we click on that quest, it pulls up this scroll here, and as you can see, we can't do this quest right off the bat. It tells us we need to have 32 quest points, and to get quest points, we need to do other quests, and different quests give you different amount of quest points. Other recommendations are you need certain combat levels or certain skill levels, which are really useful in my opinion because it just gives you the motivation to do other things in the game. A lot of things that people like to do is to stick to one thing, but if you decide to do all the quests, it pushes you to do a lot of different areas and a lot of different content that just helps your account grow even more. In completing this quest, Dragon Slayer 1, we recommend that as you finish this is where you can decide if this game is for you or not. We like to make this your free trial of Old School Runescape, where once you get to this point, you'll know if you enjoy this type of game or not. We do recommend that you try membership and experience what this game really has to offer, because free-to-play is just a very, very small sliver of what this game has to offer. But it is very enjoyable to get through these quests, get through your skills, and finally beat Dragon Slayer 1. It's something that kind of helps you understand if this is the game for you or not. Just remember that in this game, you are not alone. If you have any questions about this game, if there's a certain item you don't know what it is or what it's used for, or a quest you don't know how to do, we highly, highly recommend that you look up the Old School Runescape wiki, which is just a couple clicks away. You can type anything you want. Right here, I pulled up the Dragon Slayer 1 quest. I highly, highly recommend you click on the quick guide link here. So when you click on it, it just really shortens all the different sections. It just gives you all the information you need to know to accomplish the quest. If you look at the top, you can see all these different categories. It tells you the requirements, the length, the items that you need for all the entire quest, the skills that are recommended and the items recommended. It tells you all the enemies you need to defeat. It's really, really helpful to accomplish any quest in the game. Another really helpful way to use the wiki is for your skills. So here in your skills, if you don't know how to level up woodcutting, for example, or you want to find a really efficient pathway to level it up, you just go to the wiki here and you could type woodcutting guide. And you'll find pay to play woodcutting if you're a member, but if you're free to play, you can click right here and go to free to play woodcutting training. And you could scroll down and just read all about woodcutting here. It tells you what axe you can use at what woodcutting level. As you can see, you need a certain attack level to equip those axes. You'll learn all about that as you look through the wiki page or other YouTube videos. It tells you what kind of trees you can cut as a free-to-play account and what level of the woodcutting skill required. It even tells you what experience you get per log. And then right down here, it tells you what kind of trees you should cut from each level. So if you're level 1 to 15, just cut normal trees and then move on to oak, willow. You know, it tells you the most efficient way you can do it. And it's really, really helpful. One really useful place that we recommend you go and check out is the Grand Exchange, which is located in Varrock. And Varrock is just north of Lumbridge, right where you started. So you just want to run north, follow the roads, watch out for this area right here if you can, and just go straight through town and up to the northwest of Varrock, and you'll end up here at the Grand Exchange. This is a central hub for many players that like to meet here, and you can trade and sell different items that you gain throughout the game. So here you can talk to the Grand Exchange clerks, and you can use these windows to buy almost anything in the game. So here we have a bronze sword. If I wanted to upgrade my sword, I could type steel sword, and I could purchase a steel sword on the Grand Exchange from another real player in the world. So I would get this sword from a player who is selling the same item. This is especially useful for quests. As you see using that wiki, you can see the requirements of that quest, and a lot of requirements are items. You need to have a lot of different items to go through that quest. And the fastest way to set up for that quest is to come here to the Grand Exchange and purchase every single item. That way you're ready to go and get through that quest as fast as you want, or as fast as you can. And if you want to sell something at the Grand Exchange, just whatever you have in your inventory, you can click on it. I'm going to offer this bread, and right now the price is going for around 166 coins. So I can change that price by using these plus and minus symbols, or down here I can up it by 5%. And then whatever price I'm happy with, I can confirm, and it not always will go through. I can either leave it overnight and hopefully someone will buy it from me throughout the night, but if I really want that money right away, I can take it back and I can offer it again at a much lower price. And then I can confirm it again, and it should go through, and I can get my money's worth.
Now that we've gone through the basics of goal setting and quests and doing your own research, the next thing to do is really to just play the game. Start doing something that you want to do. Like, for example, on our new account, Lumbridge Lounge here, we're wanting to train a little bit of range. So I have my bow and my arrows equipped, and I'm at the cows in Lumbridge. Just down here, here's a cow pen. I'm just gonna go kill a bunch of cows. So click on one and you start killing cows and start getting that ranged experience. And you can really do anything you want within the game. Now this section of the video is a fair warning to any new player into Old School Runescape of something that a lot of people talk about, and this is burnout. Burnout is when you start feeling kind of trapped within the game. When you're doing something and you have this goal and it's so far out there that you just seem like the only thing you're doing is one thing, which I just am killing cows for hours and hours and hours, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. That is what burnout is, and everybody gets it at some point in the game. Once you feel like you're getting this experience of burnout, my biggest tip for you guys is to give some variety in your training. If I just say I'm getting really tired of training ranged, I should probably go train another skill like fishing or woodcutting or cooking or anything. Just do something different. Change it up. Don't feel like you're ever stuck into one thing unless that's your goal, is to do one thing in your account. Then you're putting the burnout on yourself. Another huge tip, in my opinion, for burnout is to think about playing other games. Don't make OSRS the only game you ever play, ever, because then you are going to burn out, because this is a very grindy, long game. You're not going to achieve everything in a week. It's going to take years, if not tens of years. Like, it's going to take a long time to finish the game, I should say. Talking about that, me and Carter have been playing our main accounts that we have right now from 2017 till now, and we're not even maxed. We've been playing the game for that long with hundreds of hours on the account, just working our way to maxing our account, getting all our stats to 99. But we couldn't do that without having time to play other games. This is what people call as AFKing. Usually I have on one monitor or on another screen another game playing. We play a lot of Valorant, and then I just alt tab whenever I either die or the round's over and stuff, and I start training the skill again. Like, say I was doing ranged here, I just click on another cow and kill another cow, and then go back into playing Valorant. There's some better AFK methods than others for other skills, but there's plenty to do that you don't have to fully commit your time to RuneScape. On a final note about burnout, the biggest thing is to just make it fun. Do the things that you want to do. There are going to be plenty of other people and even your friends that may play this game that'll tell you the exact things you should be doing to be the most efficient. You don't have to do anything that others want you to do. You can do whatever you want. If I want to kill cows until level 40 ranged, I could right here. If I want to go mine, because that sounds like what's fun, I can go mine. If I want to go train woodcutting, I can go do that. Just do something that you would feel gratified and reach that goal. This game is the biggest goal-setting game that I've ever seen. And once you achieve those goals, you'll get that feeling of, I did it. I'm through that level. I'm through this goal and ready to move on.
So, a problem that new players face in this game is something called choice paralysis, where they don't know what choice they should be making at a certain time. They don't know what quest they should start doing or what skill they should be working on at this time. And what I recommend is to just pick something that you seem curious in or interested in and just try it out. Give it a try. One thing I like to do with brand new accounts is just go fishing here, right south of Lumbridge, just right down here. And while I'm doing this, I can get my axe, run up here, cut down a tree, burn it, cook it, and have food for when I want to do some combat. That way I can level up my fishing, my wood cutting, my fire making, and ultimately my combat. But in the long run, when you have choice paralysis and you decide on a goal, you will most likely switch your goal to something else in the middle of that process, just because there's so many requirements for you to do something in that goal. For example, with Dragon Slayer 1, you might be putting all your efforts into doing all the quests required and all the different requirements to do this quest, but over time you might decide to just, I only want to focus on getting my wood cutting up for a couple days, or you just have something that steers you off course, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. There's no problem with that. You can steer off in any direction you'd like. Basically anything you do in this game is progress. You will always be productive if you're always doing something, except for bank standing. One of the biggest reasons why we love this game so much is because of the progress you make. You keep that progress with you as you progress through the years of this game. Every time you level up in a skill or complete a quest, you're just turning a page in the ultimate book of your account, as cheesy as that may sound. It's just one of my favorite things is to look back and see all the progress I've made, and to be able to continue in that progress and continue to have something to work towards too. Almost never run out of things to do. You're always going to find something to be productive in and progress in over time. Overall, if you have any questions, you can always ask people in game, and there are plenty of people who are more than willing to answer your questions and help you out. People love new players in this community and are just so excited to give them advice and tips, and just don't be afraid to ask any questions if you have any. But yeah, we just wanted to make a quick guide to give you a head start on making a new account. We really wanted to make this simple, not overwhelm you, and basically give you a guide to a free-to-play account of getting a quote-unquote free trial of this game. The stuff that we explained in this video is very, very bare minimum. There is so much more that this game has to offer, especially in membership. But if you're starting this for the first time, we don't want to push you into paying for a membership account right away. We want you to, dip your toes in the water, so to speak, and try this game out for how it feels. And then ultimately, we recommend after you beat Dragon Slayer 1 to move on to membership after that. So take it slow, take it easy, take it fast, however way you want to do it. But we hope this guide helped you out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.